Hello, everyone. My name is Merary and according to John, the study circles coordinator, when I start my emails like that, I sound like Inigo Montoya from The Princess Bride. And for those of you who haven't watched that movie, he says, "My name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Now prepare to die." So that's actually one of my favorite childhood movies, and if you haven't watched it, I recommend it. It's really funny. I've been serving at study circles for the last year, and what we do is we create safe spaces for leaders of schools to talk about race and equity. We usually end sessions with takeaways and appreciations, and I would like to start with that tonight. My takeaway for this year has been the opportunity to reflect. I've been challenged like never before to think about my childhood growing up in school within the context of race. My appreciation is for my AmeriCorps family, and for my study circles family, and for my MHP family too. I actually heard about AmeriCorps through MHP. This year, I've been with Yesenia, John, and Dina. From the stories that I've shared, my boyfriend has described them as kick-ass bosses. And I've also had the privilege to work with Deepna. She's my partner in crime, and I've talked a lot about her to my boyfriend too, and he described her as gangsta. I couldn't agree more. I was reluctant to bring my parents tonight because my dad speaks English, but my mom doesn't speak as much, and tonight is her birthday, so I didn't want to bring her here. I didn't want to bring my mom here and then be up here speaking in English. So after a conversation with John and Dina, I decided, oh yeah, that's my mom. That's my dad too. So as a result of my conversation with John and Dina, I actually decided that the story portion of my speech tonight will be done in Spanish so that my mom understands it. And there's going to be translations behind me when I do it. But while I'm telling my story, I want to challenge you guys. Oftentimes in study circles, we invite people to think from other perspectives. And our work is centered, a lot of our work, the people here in this room, is centered around children and oftentimes around Latino and immigrant families. So I want you guys to think about my story not as whatever your position is, your job position is. I want you to think about it as the parent that you are, if you are a parent, and if you're not a parent, think about it as when you were a child growing up. So as I tell it, I want you to really think about it from that perspective. And when I'm done, I want you to take my story with you, and I want you to think about it as you're working with families in our communities. Also, since I'm speaking in Spanish, I want you guys to take the opportunity, if you don't speak Spanish, to kind of think and reflect about what non-English speaking families' lives are like on a daily basis. So give yourselves the chance to kind of think of it in that way. So yeah, I'm gonna start, and I don't know if Iris can help me get the English working on the back. Thank you, Iris, by the way, for volunteering to help me. It was a last-minute thing. All right. Durante mis años en la escuela primaria, yo quería ser astronauta. Okay. Durante mis años en la escuela primaria, yo quería ser astronauta porque quería ver el cielo antes de morir. Mi mamá me apoyaba en lo que fuera, pero en realidad ella quería que yo fuera una doctora. Cuando ella estaba de mi edad, dejó por detrás sus sueños y su futuro como pediatra en la República Dominicana para venir aquí y darnos a mí y a mi hermano un futuro estadounidense. Mi papá quería que yo fuera una abogada. Siempre he sido una discutidora. En realidad yo lo que era una freca que siempre dije que tenía la razón. Él todavía jura que yo sería una buena licenciada asociada, pero lo que más aprecio sobre su sueño para mí es que siempre me dejaba expresar mi opinión, mientras lo hiciera con respeto. Cuando estaba en el grado séptimo de la intermedia, me tocaron unos profesores tan malos que decidí que quería ser una directora, para botarlo a todito. Yo me sentía como que mis profesores en ese grado no creían de que yo debería de estar en esas clases de honor en las que yo estaba. Pero en el grado octavo de la intermedia me fue excepcionalmente bien. La mayoría de mis clases no eran de honor y quizás eran un poco demasiado fácil para mí. Pero formé buenas relaciones con mis maestros y sé que mis padres se sintieron orgullosos de mí cuando fui la única estudiante que recibió 6 reconocimientos de parte de mis maestros durante la graduación de la intermedia. Fue ese año que decidí que quería ser maestra, porque logré ver el poder que hay en la mano de un maestro para dañar o destruir, o de reparar y construir la fundación del futuro de un niño. Mis maestros ese año eran exactamente lo que mi mamá siempre me había dicho que deberían de ser los maestros. Eran familia. Y como mis maestros creyeron en mí con la misma pasión que mi mamá y mi papá creían y aspiraban para mí un gran futuro, lograron jugar ese papel de familia en mi vida y en mis decisiones. Nuestra familia viene de principios humildes. No siempre había dinero, pero mis padres se fajaban trabajando para proveer. Y nunca nos faltó alimento. Aunque a veces nos cortaban el agua y nos cortaban la luz, y aunque una vez perdimos la casa, mis padres siempre buscaban el tiempo para asegurarse de que la educación académica y nuestra educación en casa nunca nos hiciera falta. Pero lo más importante es que mi mamá nunca dejó de aspirar a que yo fuera la gran doctora Merary Gutiérrez. Y mi papá nunca dejó de llamarme su licenciada y asociada, su chiquita Merary Gutiérrez. And some of my teachers never stopped believing that in spite of anything that Merary Gutierrez was going through at home, she could and would be excellent, and she could and would achieve. This year I was at an MCPS event, and one of my 8th grade teachers came up to me and she said, "I was your 8th grade history teacher, Merary." She made me feel special. 10 years later, and my 8th grade teachers are still making me feel special. One of the greatest gifts that this year has given me has been the opportunity to see MCPS like an astronaut sees the Earth, from above. I've been able to see schools' cultures, underlying assumptions, structures, and barriers, and the practices, policies, and beliefs that contribute to their persistence. Saying that the knowledge I've gained will serve me when I go off to become a teacher is an understatement. There is a lot of work to do to close the achievement gap, and I have a lot of work to do before I can stand in front of a class and do something about it. I can only imagine that my growth would be far superior if I were to stay another year. Anyway, when I began, I asked you to take my story with you and when you go off to work for our community. And I encourage you to think about what you know or don't know about the dreams of your kids and about the aspirations that their parents have for them. Make them feel special, and always believe and let them know that you believe, that they can and will be excellent, and that they can and will achieve. But also continue to work hard to make that happen for them, and our community will be better than we can ever imagine for it. Thank you.